Respiration. Ontogenesis of respiration. The respiratory system. Cells continually use O2 and release CO2. Respiratory system designed for gas exchange. Cardiovascular system transports gases in blood. Failure of either system. Rapid cell death from O2 starvation. Respiratory system anatomy. Nose. Pharynx equals throat. Larynx equals voice box. Trachea equals windpipe. Bronchi equals airways. Lungs. Upper respiratory tract is above vocal cords. Lower respiratory tract is below vocal cords. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. External nasal structures. Skin, nasal bones, and cartilage lined with mucous membrane. Openings called external nares or nostrils. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Nose, internal structures. Large chamber within the skull. Roof is made up of ethmoid and floor is hard palate. Internal nares are openings to pharynx. Nasal septum is composed of bone and cartilage. Bony swelling or conchi on lateral walls. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Functions of the nasal structures. Olfactory epithelium for sense of smell. Pseudostratified ciliated columnar with goblet cells lines nasal cavity. Warms air due to high vascularity. Mucus moistens air and traps dust. Cilia move mucus towards pharynx. Paranasal sinuses open into nasal cavity. Found in ethmoid, sphenoid, frontal and maxillary. Lightened skull and resonate voice. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Pharynx muscular tube, 5-inch long, hanging from the skull. Skeletal muscle and mucous membrane. Extends from internal nares to cricoid cartilage. Functions. Passageway for food and air. Resonating chamber for speech production. Tonsil, lymphatic tissue, in the walls protects entryway into body. Distinct regions, nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Nasopharynx from internal nares to soft palate. Openings of auditory, eustachian, tubes from middle ear cavity. Adenoids or pharyngeal tonsil and roof. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Oropharynx from soft palate to hyoid bone. Fauces is opening from mouth into oropharynx. Palatine tonsils found inside walls, lingual tonsil and tongue. Common passageway for food and air. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Laryngopharynx extends from hyoid bone to cricoid cartilage. Common passageway for food and air and ends as esophagus inferiorly. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Larynx cartilage and connective tissue tube anterior to C4 to C6. Constructed of 3 single and 3 paired cartilages. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Vocal cords. False vocal cords, ventricular folds, found above vocal folds, true vocal cords. True vocal cords attached to arytenoid cartilages. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Trachea and bronchial tree. Full extent of airways is visible starting at the larynx and trachea. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Trachea ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Hyaline cartilage as C-shaped structure closed by trachealis muscle. April 24, 2017. Sheenalagia. Bronchi and bronchioles. Primary bronchi supply each lung. Secondary bronchi supply each lobe of the lungs, 3 right plus 2 left. tertiary bronchi supply each bronchopulmonary segment. Repeated branchings called bronchioles form a bronchial tree. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Pleural membranes and pleural cavity. Visceral pleura covers lungs, parietal pleura lines ribcage and covers upper surface of diaphragm. Pleural cavity is potential space between ribs and lungs. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Gross anatomy of lungs. Base, apex, cupula, costal surface, cardiac notch. Oblique and horizontal fissure in right lung results in 3 lobes. Oblique fissure only in left lung produces 2 lobes. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Mediastinal surface of lungs. Blood vessels and airways enter lungs at hilus. Forms root of lungs. Covered with pleura. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Structures within a segment of lung. Branchings of single arteriole, venule and bronchiole are wrapped by elastic CT. Respiratory bronchiole. Simple squamous. Alveolar ducts surrounded by alveolar sacs and alveoli. Sac is 2 or more alveoli sharing a common opening. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Cells types of the alveoli. Type I alveolar cells. Simple squamous cells where gas exchange occurs. Type II alveolar cells, septal cells. Free surface has microvilli. Secrete alveolar fluid containing surfactant. Alveolar dust cells. Wandering macrophages remove debris. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Alveolar capillary membrane. Respiratory membrane equals half micron thick. Exchange of gas from alveoli to blood. 4 layers of membrane to cross. Alveolar epithelial wall of type I cells. Alveolar epithelial basement membrane. Capillary basement membrane. Endothelial cells of capillary. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Details of respiratory membrane. Find the 4 layers that comprise the respiratory membrane. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Double blood supply to the lungs. Deoxygenated blood arrives through pulmonary trunk from the right ventricle. Bronchial arteries branch off of the aorta to supply oxygenated blood to lung tissue. Venous drainage returns all blood to heart. Pulmonary blood vessels constrict in response to low O2 levels so as not to pick up CO2 on their way through the lungs. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Respiration. Respiration is exchange of primarily oxygen and carbon dioxide between atmosphere and human body. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Respiration. Steps. Respiration is achieved in 4 steps. Pulmonary ventilation, inspiration plus expiration. External respiration, diffusion across alveolar capillary membrane. Gas transport, transport of O2 and CO2. Internal respiration, exchange between ICF and tissue capillary. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Breathing or pulmonary ventilation. Air moves into lungs when pressure inside lungs is less than atmospheric pressure. How is this accomplished? Air moves out of the lungs when pressure inside lungs is greater than atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure equals 1 atmosphere or 760 mm Hg. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Boyle's law. As the size of closed container decreases, pressure inside is increased. The molecules have less wall area to strike so the pressure on each inch of area increases. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Dimensions of the chest cavity. Breathing in requires muscular activity and chest size changes. Contraction of the diaphragm flattens the dome and increases the vertical dimension of the chest. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Quiet inspiration. Diaphragm moves 1 cm and ribs lifted by external intercostal muscles. Intrathoracic pressure falls and 2 to 3 liters inhaled. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Quiet expiration, passive process with no muscle action. Elastic recoil and surface tension in alveoli pulls inward. Alveolar pressure increases and air is pushed out. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia, intrapleural pressures. Always subatmospheric, 756 mm Hg. As diaphragm contracts, intrapleural pressure decreases even more, 754 mm Hg. Helps keep parietal and visceral pleura stick together and alveoli inflated. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia. Summary of breathing: alveolar pressure decreases and air rushes in. Alveolar pressure increases and air rushes out. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia, external respiration, exchange of gas between air and blood. Gases diffuse from areas of high partial pressure to areas of low partial pressure. Deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated. Compare gas movements in pulmonary capillaries to tissue capillaries. April 24, 2017. Shenolagia.